Hello and welcome to ITENERT. The safety and security of a country depend on its military forces. The military's responsibility is to protect the territorial integrity of the country, within the shores of the country on land, air, and sea. To achieve this, different countries in Africa earmark a large sum of money in the annual budget for defense. This money is used in training military personnel, acquisition of tools and weapons, etc. In this video, I'll tell you about the top 10 strongest militaries in Africa in 2023. If you are new to the channel, kindly subscribe to the channel, like, and share the video. You can also tell us in the comment box below, where you are watching this video from. Africa is home to many powerful militaries, with countries such as Egypt, South Africa, and Ethiopia often being considered among the top contenders. These countries have invested heavily in modernizing and expanding their armed forces, and have the capability to project power both within their borders and beyond. Based on the military strength, the country with the power index score of 0.000 is considered the strongest. The military strength of countries is compared with this score. Here's the list of the top strongest militaries in Africa in 2023, according to the most recent information obtained from the World Population and Global Firepower Reviews. The number 10 on the list is Sudan, with a power index score of 1.4079. The Sudanese military is ranked the 10th most powerful military in Africa, with a score of 1.4079, according to Global Firepower Review 2023. Sudan has a well-organized military force that comprises about 100,000 active personnel. In addition, Sudan has an impressively large tank fleet as well as numerous aircraft and attack helicopters. Sudanese military boasts of 45 fighter aircraft, 191 military aircraft fleet, 37 attack aircraft, 43 attack helicopters, 690 combat tanks, 400 armored fighting vehicles, 20 self-propelled artillery, 36 patrol vessels, 40 multiple launch rocket projector, MLRS, and 389 towed artillery in its armory and 10 naval patrol vessels. The civil war-prone country commands some level of command, with regards to being one of the top 10 best and powerful military in Africa. Despite the havoc, Sudan's annual budgetary defense is of an estimate of $289 million. Sudan is ranked 75 of 145 out of the countries considered for the annual Global Firepower Review. Another country with the strongest military in Africa is Tunisia, with a power index of 1.3243. Tunisian military was founded on 30th June, 1956 with the headquarters at Tunis. It has service branches which include Army, Navy, and Air Force. The country has an active personnel of 90,000. It boasts of 152 aircrafts, 11 fighters, 101 helicopters, 30 trainer aircraft fleet, 145 tanks, 23,200 armored fighting vehicles, 36 patrol vessels, and 105 towed artillery in its armory. Tunisia has an annual defense budget of $1,177,200,000. Tunisia is ranked 73 of 145 out of the countries considered for the annual Global Firepower Review, and it is the number 9 on the list of top 10 strongest military in Africa in 2023. Number 8 on the list is the Democratic Republic of the Congo, with a power index of 1.3055. The FARC, or the Armed Forces of the Democratic Republic of Congo, began its resurgence after the peace agreement that brought relative peace to the country. The Second Congo War saw mass devastation and loss of lives, property, and much more. The FARC's greatest asset is its land forces, which make up for their relatively low air and naval units. The country has an active personnel of 140,000. It boasts of 46 aircrafts, 8 attack helicopters, 1 fighter, 32 helicopters, 214 tanks, 3,728 armored fighting vehicles, 16 self-propelled artillery, 57 multiple launch rocket projector, MLRS, 16 patrol vessels, and 125 towed artillery in its armory. The country also has a defense budget of $299,220,000. Democratic Republic of the Congo is ranked 72 of 145 out of the countries considered for the annual Global Firepower Review in 2023. Occupying the 7th position on our list of the top 10 strongest military forces in Africa is Morocco, with a power index of 1.052. The Royal Moroccan Armed Forces are heavily reliant on foreign military supplies. They are also involved in various peacekeeping missions in dangerous areas. The country has active personnel of 200,000. The military equipment it uses is as follows: 250 aircrafts, 83 fighters, 64 helicopters, 2 tanker fleet, 1,761 tanks, 31,972 armored fighting vehicles, 453 self-propelled artillery, 48 multiple launch rocket projector, MLRS, 1 naval corvette fleet, 6 frigates, 22 patrol vessels, and 211 towed artillery in its armory. Morocco is estimated to have a defense budget of $1,039,108,400. Morocco is ranked 61 of 145 out of the countries considered for the annual Global Firepower Review 2023, and number 7 in Africa. Next on the list is Angola. Angola has a well-disciplined military force with over 107,000 active personnel. The nation's power score is 0.873, making it the 6th strongest military force in Africa in 2023. Angola's military forces boast of 302 aircrafts, 15 attack helicopters, 71 fighters, 117 helicopters, 2 special mission aircraft fleet, 18 attack aircraft fleet, 61 trainer aircraft fleet, 156 tanks, 5,500 armored fighting vehicles, 28 self-propelled artillery, 165 multiple launch rocket projector, MLRS, 37 patrol vessels, 2 mine warfare fleet, and 625 towed artillery in its armory. The country also has a defense budget of $1,059,270,000. Angola is ranked 55 of 145 out of the countries considered for the annual Global Firepower Review in 2023. The number 5 on the list is Ethiopia with Power Index score of 0.7979. The global firepower does not penalize a country for being landlocked and not possessing a naval force. Ethiopia has taken this disadvantage and focused its energy on maximizing its potential as a land and air force to be reckoned with. Along with its impressive military equipment, it also has one of the largest populations on the continent, supplying it with a massive force when needed. Although mandatory military training is no longer a requirement in Ethiopia, they have the authority to call the people to arms when needed. Ethiopia has 150,000 active personnel. Some of the equipment to be used by this massive force is as follows: 89 aircrafts, 6 attack helicopters, 23 fighters, 31 helicopters, 26 trainer aircraft fleet, 468 tanks, 6,240 armored fighting vehicles, 100 self-propelled artillery, 13 multiple launch rocket projector, MLRS, and 319 towed artillery in its armory. The country is estimated to have a $539 million defense budget. Ethiopia is ranked 49 of 145 out of the countries considered for the annual Global Firepower Review 2023, and taking the 5th position in Africa. Next is Nigeria, with Power Index score 0.5587. Nigeria military force is ranked 4th strongest military force in Africa, despite the political and leadership fluctuations, and non-continuity, corruption, and lack of sophisticated gadgets to combat insurgency and terrorism in the country. Despite these setbacks, the armed forces of Nigeria boast of 135,000 active personnel, 144 aircrafts, 15 attack helicopters, 14 fighters, 52 helicopters, 6 special mission aircraft fleet, 24 attack aircraft fleet, 28 trainer aircraft fleet, 177 tanks, 15,748 armored fighting vehicles, 30 self-propelled artillery, 37 multiple launch rocket projector, MLRS, 109 patrol vessels, 2 mine warfare fleet, 1 frigate fleet, and 339 towed artillery in its armory. Sadly, despite the country's military might, the country is not able to overcome Boko Haram, which is troubling the northern region of the country, as well as the huge security challenges that have escalated to other regions of the country. Nigeria has a defense budget of $3,484,633,740. For 2023, Nigeria is ranked 36 of 145 out of the countries considered for the annual Global Firepower Review and the number 4 in Africa. Another country on the list is South Africa. South Africa has the 3rd strongest military force in Africa, with a Power Index score of 0.4885. This country's military can be compared with other developed European nations. Although their military frontline personnel are less than 100,000, their equipment is world-class of the latest technology. South Africa is also the only African country that attempted to gain nuclear technology. Trained by the Israeli and the British, South African soldiers are definitely to be feared. Some of their equipment encompasses the following: 226 aircrafts, 12 attack helicopters, 17 fighters, 91 helicopters, 7 special mission aircraft fleet, 88 trainer aircraft fleet, 195 tanks, 34,540 armored fighting vehicles, 49 self-propelled artillery, 101 multiple launch rocket projector, MLRS, 31 patrol vessels, 2 mine warfare fleet, 3 submarines, 4 frigate fleet, and 82 towed artillery in its armory. South Africa has the strongest military force in sub-Saharan Africa, but is third to Egypt on the continent. The country also spent $2,814,016,919 on the defense budget. For 2023, South Africa is ranked 33 of 145 out of the countries considered for the annual Global Firepower Review. Now is time to move to the number 2 on the list, but before that, if you are new to the channel, kindly subscribe to the channel, like and share the video. Algerian People's National Armed Forces is the number 2 on the list, with a power index score of 0.3911. Algeria is arguably Africa's top spender on defense. The country's frontline personnel number over 130,000 troops, and it is made up of a modern army funded largely by its oil resources. Algeria has an abundance of equipment, as the following numbers can easily illustrate why the country is a military powerhouse: 547 aircrafts, 50 attack helicopters, 90 fighters, 273 helicopters, 10 special mission aircraft fleet, 87 trainer aircraft fleet, 5 tanker fleet, 1,700 tanks, 35,990 armored fighting vehicles, 224 self-propelled artillery, 298 multiple launch rocket projector, MLRS, 25 patrol vessels, 6 naval corvette fleet, 6 submarines, 5 frigate fleet, and 483 towed artillery in its armory. The generous budget set aside for the defense of Algeria is $9,979,200,000. For 2023, Algeria is ranked 26 of 145 out of the countries considered for the annual Global Firepower Review, and second in Africa. Now the number 1 on the list, which is the strongest military in Africa in 2023, is Egypt. This country has been the military powerhouse of Africa for a long time, and continues to be so. It was one of America's main military aid recipients for countless years. Many speculated that the military would weaken due to the political instability, but it seems to have gotten even more powerful. Its huge 440,000 active frontline personnel are ahead of all its African counterparts. Egypt is also the only country in Africa to have not 1 but 2 aircraft carriers. The following are some of its equipment: 1,069 aircrafts, 92 attack helicopters, 245 fighters, 325 helicopters, 11 special mission aircraft fleet, 341 trainer aircraft fleet, 4,664 tanks, 77,596 armored fighting vehicles, 1,489 self-propelled artillery, 1,575 multiple launch rocket projector, MLRS, 48 patrol vessels, 7 naval corvette fleet, 8 submarines, 23 mine warfare fleet, 2 helicopter carrier fleet, 13 frigate fleet, and 2,189 towed artillery in its armory. The Egyptian government allocates $4,357,200,000 for its defense spending. For 2023, Egypt is ranked 14 of 145 out of the countries considered for the annual Global Firepower Review and the number 1 in Africa. In addition to the countries shown in this video, there are other countries on the continent that have strong military might, but could not make the top 10 list. Thank you very much for watching the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to watch more of these videos. You can also tell us in the comment box below where you are watching this video from. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.